Hi guys, my name is Ferdy and in this tutorial I will show you how to create outstanding forms using Gravity Forms, an amazing plugin that helps you to build complex, powerful contact forms in just minutes. No programming knowledge required. You can integrate it with other services like WooCommerce, PayPal, Eventbrite, MailChimp and much more. You can import forms, create polls and even create dynamic forms that change based on the information that people fill in. The sky is the limit with Gravity Forms. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we want to do, we want to get Gravity Forms. In order to get it, click on the link below or go to Korpershoek.com to Themes, Plugins over here and click on Gravity Forms. Here we are at gravityforms.com. I scroll down, I click over here and I want to buy Gravity Forms for just $39. There are three options. Use for unlimited sites, $1.99 per year, or $99 for 3 sites, or $39 for 1 site. I buy this one. I'm from the Netherlands. I fill in my details. I have no discount code and I pay with PayPal. I say pay now. And I return to the merchant. And now it says click here to download Gravity Form personal license. I click over here. So now I go to my website. I go to the backend. I go to plugins, add new. And I click on upload plugin. I choose a file. And here it is, Gravity Forms 2.2.1. I open it. I install it now. And I activate the plugin. Right now you should see forms over here. So I go to forms and there are no forms yet. I need to enter my license key. So I go to my mail, same email address as my PayPal account. And here it is from Rocket Genius. Here's my license. I copy it. I paste it over here and I say next. So it will automatically be updated unless you turn it off. I click on next. We need to take a look at the global settings. The currency, dollars. I click on next. And now it's installed and I can create my first form. Let's create a simple form. I click on create form. I close this. And I can give it a title. So I can say my first form. This is my first form. Create a form and it works really easy. I can just drag and drop. I want to start with a simple form and this itself is a small tutorial, but I will also show you what you can do. So here we can drag and drop stuff and here we have different kind of fields we can use. I can add a single line, I drag it over here, but I can also use a drop down field. I can drag it above or below. I can go to advanced fields, use a name field or address. I can let people upload a file. And if I would update it and I go to my contact page, I go to contact. I want to place it over here. How can I do that? I edit the page. I click on the text block. I will create a new alinea by pressing enter. And here we can say add form. And if I click over here, I can select a form, my first form. I can display the title. I can display the description. I don't want that. I insert the form and this is what appears. So I save it. I update it. And I view the page. And here it is. Untitled, untitled. I can have 3 choices. I can upload a file. I leave my address, my name, and then I can submit it. So that's how it works. Let's create some order in this. So I go back to forms. I close everything. Like that. And I want to start with a name. So I go to the advanced fields. Here it is, name. I can click on it and it appears over here. You see the name. First and the last, I can click on it and then I get more options. For instance, the field label, right now it says name, and I can change it to full name. And then here it says first and last. I can even add a few things, middle name, so first, middle, last name. And I can uncheck it, or prefix or suffix. I can say it is required, and when I do that, there comes an asterisk over here, which means it's required. I go to appearance, and I can have placeholders. So at first, I can place the first in the field over here. So I say first name, last name, but I don't want it this time because I have it already over here, first and last. What I like to do, I like this text to be above the field. So I go to the sub-label placement. I say above inputs. And there it goes, first, last. So that's a quick way to create the first name and the last name. What else do I want to do? I want to have someone's email address. So I drag it over here, above or below. And I click on it, email. I can add a description, add your email address, and it appears over here. I remove it. You can enable confirmation, so you need to fill in your email address twice. You can also make this required. I want to add a phone number, so I click once and it appears over here. And then I want to have a paragraph, a text message. So I drag this over here. I click on it. I can remove the field label and I go to appearance, to placeholder, and I say type your message. I update it and I will take a look, refresh, and now it looks like this. Full name, first name, last name, email, phone, and type your message. So it looks quite nice. You see a submit button, and if you go to the backend, you don't see it because it will be generated automatically. If I want to change this and a few other settings, I go to the backend and I go to the settings, form settings. Right now it's called my first form. I want to change it to the contact form, and I can change the form description. If you want to know what the meaning is of something, you can hover over the question mark and it will explain itself. Form description, enter description for your form. This may be used for user instructions. I don't have that, so I leave this empty. The form layout, I leave it all as it is. You can change it if you want to. And here's the form button. Right now it says submit, but I also can say get in contact. So if I update it and I refresh it, now it says get in contact. You can also use an image. I go to the form settings and I can choose an image. I need to have the path. If I go to Ferdy, Korpershoek, I use a button image on my website. So I go to courses, how to become an online entrepreneur, and I scroll down. And here it is. Right mouse click, copy image address. I paste it over here. I update the form and I refresh. Now it is this button. So when you click over here, you'll send this message. I will put it back to text, submit form, and I scroll down. You can add option save and continue, so people can save the form they filled in and continue later. With this form, I don't need it. It's a small form. Enable entry limit. You can schedule the form, so it will only be available from 1 till 5 if you want to. So I can check this and I can say it's only available for a day. If you want to give a special discount or something like that, you can schedule the form. Really nice. You can require users to be logged in. I don't want that. And anti-spam honeypot. That's really nice. It's an alternative for reCAPTCHA. If you enable it, it will create an extra field which is not visible for users. So users won't fill it in, but if you're a bot, you will fill it in. And if you fill that in, Gravity Form will know this is spam. So in that way, people don't have to fill in reCAPTCHA. So I use it. I can enable animations, but it's only necessary if you have conditional logic fields. We'll talk about that later. I update the form settings, refresh, and this is our form. I want to add one more thing. I have a company about photography, videography, and web design. So I want to give people the option to say where they want to talk about. Do they want to talk about videography, photography, or something else? So I go to the form settings, I go to edit, I close this, and I want to add a drop down over here. I click on it. What is the question about? First choice, photography, videography, web design, plus other. It is required. Update and refresh. So right now this is our form, first name, last name, email, phone. What is the question about or the message? And you can select something and type your message and submit the form. Right now you see here at the left first name, at the right last name. I want to create the same with email and phone. Right now this email area is quite long. People don't have an email address that is so long, so I want to cut this in half and put email here at the left and phone here at the right. How can you do that? I go back to the form, I click on email, and I go to appearance. And here it says custom CSS class. Gravity Forms has all kinds of custom CSS classes already. I just have to think logical, and then I say Gravity Forms underscore left and half. I update it and I refresh, and what will you see? Now it's in half. The same thing I want to do with the phone. I click on phone, appearance, custom CSS, Gravity Forms underscore right half. Update, refresh, and now it's over here. Let's take it one more step further. I remove the full name. Okay. I go to single line text. I drag it here above. I click on it and I say name, appearance, custom CSS, Gravity Forms underscore left third. I scroll down. I go to email, appearance, Gravity Form, middle, third, and to the phone, appearance, Gravity Form, right, third. Let's see what happens if they're all on the same line. Refresh, and that's how it works. Name, email, phone. What's the question about? Photography, videography. Type your message. If you want to know more about these CSS classes, then go to Google and search for Gravity Forms CSS classes. And the first result, CSS ready classes from gravityhelp.com. Click on it and this will show you more options. Here you see the one we used. And here you have different ones and it shows examples. So you can take a look and see what is possible with the CSS classes. Let's go to the backend and let's take a look at settings, confirmations. Right now it's a default confirmation. Thank you for contacting us. And we can change it. I click on edit. This will be the message that will be sent to someone that fills in the contact form. You can have a confirmation type, text, page, or redirect. Thank you for contacting us. We will get in touch with you shortly. So if I fill this in, I will get that message over here. I can also redirect them to a certain page. I can select it to the home page, for instance, or to a page that says, thank you for contacting us. You could even create a page with a thank you video for thank you for contacting us. We'll do our best to contact you back as soon as possible. Or you can redirect them to a certain link and you can choose your own. So if I would say text, I can say thank you for contacting us. Enter, kind regards, Ferdy, Korpershoek. So I save it. I go to notifications and this is what I will get as an administrator. Admin notification, new submission from, and then form title. There's no form title, so I edit this. And the name is contact form enfold2017.com. Send to admin email from, I usually do my own email address because then it won't arrive in the spam. From name, I can say enfold2017. That's the website name. From my own admin email address, then usually it does not come in the spam box. Reply to email that is over here, this one. So if you click on reply in your email provider, then you go directly to their email address. BCC, not necessary. And the subject, I can say form from enfold2017.com. And the message is all fields. That means it will send all these fields. That's okay for me. What I can do, I can say name, and over here fill in the name, then enter email, phone number, and I don't see the message. So for now I save this, and here I create this area. So I will show you how it looks. I save it. I go to the form. I go to the message and I say field label message. And I update it. I go back to settings, notification. I edit this one. And over here, shift enter. I select message. And then I can say over here, message. I can have the date or the user IP, something like that. So I update it and I go to the contact form and I refresh it. And now I say Ferdy Korpershoek @gmail.com, phone number. And then about videography. Hi there. This is my message about videography. I submit the form and now we get a text with kind regards Ferdy Korpershoek. Thank you for contacting us. We'll get in touch with you shortly. Kind regards Ferdy Korpershoek. Now if I go to my email, here it is, form from enfold2017.com. Name Ferdy, email address, phone. So this is the automatic one and this is my own made. So I like this way. You can also have it this way by yourself. I would go with this way. And I also could be sent to a different page or to a different URL here at settings confirmation. So that's how it works. We can also preview it and we see the form like this. And one more thing, if I go to my dashboard, I see there's a new form. So your form will be saved. So if you remove your email, you still can see it. So if I click on contact form, unread 1, here it is. I click on it and I can still see it over here. So that's really nice. Let's create our second form, a little bit more advanced. New form, and I say wedding photography availability form. No description, I create the form. People can fill in this form to see if I'm still available on the date. So they fill in their date, I can respond and say if I'm available or not. And if I am, we can make an arrangement. So what do I want to know? Single line, name, bridegroom, go to appearance, say gravity forms underscore right half, close it and duplicate it. I want to put the bride first, so I say name bride. Then I want to click over here, go to appearance, and this one is right, and this one over here should be left. Update. And if I want to check this form, I click on preview, and here it is, name bride, name bridegroom, great. Next thing, I want to have their phone numbers. And what do I say? I don't say phone number, but I say number where I can call you, so they can expect a call. If I say phone number and they see a call, they can be a little bit overwhelmed. If I say number where I can call you, then they know there's a possibility he will call me. And it is required. I want people to leave their phone number. What else do I want to know? Of course, their date. So I drag it over here. Wedding date. It's mandatory, it's required. And I can have a few different ones. I can have a date picker or a date field or a date drop down. I can have a calendar icon and the date format is month, day, year. Depends on the area where you come from. For now, I leave it as it is. Update. Let's see if everything is still okay. Name bride, name bridegroom, number where I can call you, and the wedding date. And if you click, you can enter the date. Right now you see, number where I can call you is not that big, it's only the same half, but I want it to be spread over the whole width of the page. So I go back to forms, go to number where I can call you, and I go to appearance, and here the field size is medium. I will make it large, update, and preview. And now it's over the whole width. So that's how you can change that. We have the names, the date and the phone number. We want to have their email address. Maybe over here. Email. I just leave it as it is. Make it required. I want to have a standard field. I click once. And here it is, untitled. How many hours of photography do you want? They can fill it in. Not required, maybe they don't know yet. And I want to duplicate it. And I can say, how did you get to know about us? I don't know if that sentence is correct, but you know what I mean. And then they can leave a message if they want to. Message. Update. Let's view it. I like it. Change one more thing. Email. Appearance. Gravity forms. Left half. Copy it. Appearance. Gravity forms. Right half. Refresh. I like it and I will do it here. So what I can do, I can change the wedding date over here. Place or copy this. Place it over here and say left. And this one right. Update. Refresh. Name bride, name bridegroom. Email. I like it. Let's take it a step further. I'm not only offering photography for weddings, but also videography. So I want to make this a photography and videography form. So I scroll down, I add a new field, and it's a drop-down field. I click over here. Do you want to make use of our photography or videography services? First choice, photography. Second choice, videography. The third choice, photography and videography. Required, update, refresh. So now you can choose photography, videography, or photography and videography. Now I want to go to settings, notifications. Admin notification, this one goes to me. But what I can do, I offer videography, photography, and both services. Maybe I'm the photographer, so Ferdy at enfold2017.com, but my wife is the videographer. What can I do? I can configure routing. So send to Ferdy at enfold2017.com when it is about photography. So do you want to make use of our photography or videography services? I can say if it is photography, then send an email to Ferdy. But if it is about videography, then send this email to Anna. And if it is both, then send it to info@enfold2017.com. Videography, photography. So depending on what somebody fills in, an email will be sent to me, my wife, or to the info address. So that's really nice. I save it. But I can also create a new one. I go to notifications and I click on add new. And then this one goes to the wedding couple. Send to, select a field, select to email. This is the email address that the people fill in this form. So when they submit their form, an email will be sent to the email address they will fill in over here. And it is from Ferdy and Anna, from my email address, or info@enfold2017.com. And they can reply to enfold2017.com. And the subject is, thank you for your form about wedding. And then what I can do, and then this one. So thank you for your form about wedding, and then it will be the choice of this one. So it will be thank you for your form about wedding photography, wedding videography, or wedding photography and videography. And then we can say hi. And then here, name bride, this icon, and the name of the groom. Hi, John and Elizabeth. Thank you for contacting us regarding our, and then we're their choice, service, and maybe services. We would love to be part of your wedding, and we will let you know if we are still available. What I can do now, I can say here you can download our brochure. First, add media. This is the ebook. I use this one. Get the URL, copy it, go over here, insert the link, enter. Ferdy and Anna Korpershoek. So that's how it works. Let's check it out. Save notification. I create a new page. I call this wedding form. I add the form, wedding photography. It's actually photography and videography. I uncheck these, insert the form, publish it. I view the page. I close all this stuff. And I say Anna Ferdy Korpershoek at Gmail. How many hours of photography? 12. Internet. And I want to make use of the videography service. The wedding date is the 20th of November. Hi there. Blah, blah, blah. Ferdy and Anna. I submit. Now I go to my Gmail. And you see here it is, Ferdy and Anna, thank you for your form about wedding videography. So it chose videography because we chose that option. So it only says wedding videography. Hi Ferdy and Anna, thank you for contacting us regarding our videography service. We would love to be part of your wedding and we will let you know if we are still available. Here you can download our brochure. You can save it or watch it. Kind regards, Ferdy and Anna Korpershoek. In the dashboard, I have my forms. Wedding photography availability form from Anna and Ferdy with all the information. So that's the great power of Gravity Forms. What I want to do now, I want to add conditional logic into our wedding form. So I refresh the form. I want to add conditional logic. What does it mean? If somebody enters something or chooses something, then a new option will appear. I will show you what I mean. I go to Entries, to Forms, Wedding Photography. I will go to Settings, Form Settings, and change it. Wedding Availability Form. And since we are here, change the confirmation button to check the date. Update. And now I go to Edit. What I want to do, if somebody says I want to have photography as a service on my wedding, then I want to ask them how many photographers do you want to have on our wedding. I want to drag a drop down over here, below photography. And I click over here and I say, how many photographers do you want to have? I want to have two options. One photographer, two photographers. Now I go to Advanced and here it says Enable Conditional Logic. I check that and now I want to show this field if any of the following match. And I change name bride to do you want to make use of our photography or videography services equals photography. So show this field, how many photographers do you want if any of the following match. And the question, do you want to make use of photography, videography or both? If it is photography, this will appear. I want to create another one. Do you want to make use of photography equals photography and videography? So also then it needs to be shown. I update it. I refresh the form. If I go to this question and I say videography, you don't see anything. If I say photography, you see it. And if I say photography and videography, you also will see it. But I want to add something else if this option is chosen. So I want to duplicate this one. Here it is. How many videographers? One videographer or two videographers. This one I only want to show. I go to Advanced, Add Videography and Photography and Videography. So update, refresh. So right now when photography is selected, you see how many photographers do you want to have. If videography is selected, how many videographers do you want to have? One or two? And if I have photography and videography, I see them both. How many photographers do you want to have? Two. And how many videographers? Two. Maybe you think this is quite a big form. I want to split it in a few parts. You can do that. You go back to the forms. And over here we have a page area. If I drag this here above, it says begin from start paging. That's here on the top. And this can be on top of a new page. So I hold this name bride, name bridegroom, email, number where I can call you, and then the second page. And then about the business, and you know what, then comes the date. And if I click over here, I can have a progress bar, which is blue. Page name 1 is wedding, couple, information, service, information, wedding, date. Display completed progress bar on confirmation. No. Update. So now the form is divided in 3 pages. I refresh the page. Now it is here. Name bride, name bridegroom, Ferdy and Anna. My email address, phone number, and I go for next. Now we are on 66%. How many hours of photography do we want? I should change it because it can also be videography. So I say 12. Through the internet. And here it is. I want to have photography and videography. So it changes 2 photographers and 2 videographers. Next, the date, 20 of November. Hi there. And then I can send it and I click on check the date. And that's how it works. You can have multiple pages. So we talked about a few great capabilities that Gravity Forms has. And this was it for now. If you want to learn more about Gravity Forms, I have a few more tutorials about it, about payment methods, creating polls, and a few other great ways to use Gravity Forms. You can watch them on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe for more upcoming videos, and then I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!